Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and whichever time you are watching this video. So again, welcome back to my channel once again. And in today's video, I will be talking about the vegetations which occurs in the landslide area. So for this video, I have come to one of the locations situated at Rongli in Sikkim, which is about approx 1200 meter above sea level. So I will be showing you the type of vegetations which have occurred in this landslide affected area. And as you know that Sikkim being a one of the hilly state, it's like fragile to landslide, and which used to occur every year. So as you know that when landslide occurs, the soil used to become very much infertile, and in those conditions, especially those species which are more hardy, those species usually take off this area. So today I'm going to show you all the vegetations which have overtaken this landslide affected area. And behind me you can see the overview of this area. As you can see, it has been affected by landslide, and recently this landslide has occurred due to the construction of road. And apart from that, this video will be more beneficial to those who are already into the nature conservation, and for those students who are undergoing the forestry degree, a botany degree, and other nature conservation degree, and even for those personnel who are working in nature conservation sector. So this video is definitely going to help them in days to come. And if you like my content, then don't forget to subscribe my channel, and please like this video and try to share with your friends, with your families, those who are interested in nature conservation. So without delay, let's directly dive into today's topic. So this is an overview of the vegetation which have occurred in this landslide affected area. Here you can see numerous unwanted vegetation which have gregariously come and occupied this disturbed area. And as you know, these kind of vegetations are hardy, and they can easily come up in any kind of unhealthy soil. So this is an overview of the vegetations which have currently come up or overtaken the native vegetation. This is Mycenia micrantha, and its common name is climbing hemp vine, and it belongs to a family Asteraceae. So it is native to Central America, and now it has become one of the most obnoxious weed in hilly areas, in Himalayan region, and even in the Indian subcontinent. So it's like very much obnoxious. So it grows very much vigorously. It suppresses other vegetation which comes in contact with it. So to get its food, it used to engulf the other species which comes in contact with this species. And now this Mycenia micrantha has become one of the most obnoxious weed. So this weed usually come in this kind of disturbed area where the soil quality is very low. So it can come up in this disturbed area easily. So now it has grown vigorously, and it's becoming very much difficult to sustain for other native species. So I think we need to do certain control to control this species in our Himalayan belt. There is another invasive species. Its name is Cromolena odorata, and it belongs to the family Asteraceae, and it is also one of the most obnoxious weed or an invasive species. And you can see its structure here. You can see the leaves are in diamond shape, which are arranged alternatively, and it belongs to Central America. and it grows up to a height of 2 meter. So this is also another invasive species which you can easily see along the roadways, and even in the Himalayan region. Now it has become one of the most obnoxious weed. So this kind of weeds, as you know, have characteristics to come up in this low quality soil, and these species are now suppressing our native species. So it is the high time for us to think, and we should control this kind of species. We should take up some protocol to control these invasive species so that our native species will remain intact in our ecosystem. This is another common species which usually occur in Himalayan region. Its scientific name is Gavanga grandifolia, and it belongs to the family Lifuaceae. Commonly we call it as lampate in our Nepali dialogue, and its leaves, as you can see, characteristics of leaf, it's oblong, which are arranged oppositely. And this tree is a light demander, and it grows very fast, and its height reaches up to 20 to 30 meter, and in some cases also you can see up to 40 meter tall. So this species usually come near to the river belt areas, and the wood of this species is usually used in manufacturing crates and some other furnitures. And the seed of these trees are usually dispersed either by water or some wild animals. So this this species also usually comes in the degraded area easily, and is also considered as one of the pioneer species in the Himalayan region, talking in the context of Sikkim Himalaya. This is another invasive species. This is known as Biden's Pilosa. It belongs to the family Asteraceae, and its common name is hitchhiker plant. Because why it is called hitchhiker is that the spikes of this plant, as you know, so this is the spike of the plant, which usually gets attached on the clothes or the fur of wild animals, and due to that reason it is known as hitchhiker plant, because due to its characteristics, it can migrate to a further longer distance. So that's why it is known as hitchhiker plant, and this is also one of the most invasive species, and it usually occurs on degraded land. So here, as far as now, as you have seen, a lot of invasive species. So this area is really degraded, and this area needs to be revived with the native plant species. This is another sapling species. Its name is Lycaena leucocephala. Its common tree is known as river tamarind tree, and it belongs to the family Fabaceae, and it is native to Central America and Mexico. As you can see here, its leaf characters. The leaf is it's a compound leaf, and here you can see the inflorescence of this species. You can see here properly how inflorescence takes place in this species, and I think this species has probably been planted by the forest department, and this is also one of the worst invasive species which have been categorized by the IUCN. But in India, it has been promoted for the fodder and biomass production. Because why fodder means because it's a leaf has high protein content. So that's why it is good for domesticated cattle. And but however, there is mimosine content, which is a toxic amino acids. So these toxic amino acids which fall in horses and donkey. And so for being as a wonderful plant for cattle, domesticated cattle in India, it has been promoted for fodder production and biomass energy production. And apart from that, this is also one of the good nitrogen fixation, which used to fixate the atmospheric nitrogen from the atmosphere, and due to that reason, it helps the other vegetations to take off the nitrogen, which they cannot fix themselves. So that's why it is also one of the good nitrogen fixing tree species. This is another sapling species, and its scientific name is Macaranga dentaculata. It belongs to the family Euphorbiaceae. It is an evergreen tree species, and it grows up to a height of 20 meters. And this is also one of the pioneer species in this kind of conditions. That means this species gradually comes up in any disturbed area which have been affected by landslide or flash flood. In those kind of areas, this species gradually comes, and this is also one of the pioneer species in Himalayan region. So its name is Macaranga dentaculata, and if you see the leaf structure, it has a diamond-shaped leaf structure, and it grows up to a height of 20 meters. So this is the sapling of Erythrina species. So it belongs to the family Fabaceae, and it has a characteristics on its stems. It has a thorny stems. So this is also one of the characteristics of this species, and it belongs to the family Fabaceae. If I talk about its leaf characteristics, it has a 3 diamond shaped leaves which are arranged together. So these are some of the characteristics of this species, and this species also comes up readily in this kind of conditions which are degraded and have low soil fertility. So this species comes in this kind of conditions readily, and it grows up to a height of 20 meters, and this is also one of the pioneer species in disturbed area. Here is the undershrub. It is known as Sida acuta, and it belongs to the family Malvaceae. And its common name is common wire wheat, and this is also considered as one of the invasive species, and it grows up to height of 2 meters. And this species also readily comes in degraded areas where landslide have occurred and where the soil quality is low. In such kind of conditions, this kind of species readily grows, and even it suppresses the other vegetations which come in contact with this species. So this is also one of the invasive species in the Himalayas, especially in Sikkim. This is another on the shrub species. It is known as Ageritum conizoides, and it belongs to the family Asteraceae. It is native of Central America, and now it is one of the most invasive species, and it has a capability to come up readily in degraded areas or the areas where the soil quality is very much infertile. Now it has become an obnoxious weed, and it suppresses the other vegetations, and this kind of invasive species usually don't allow the native plants to germinate, and even it suppresses the seedlings of our native trees. So this kind of invasive species has some toxic chemicals which are also harmful to humans as well as to the wildlife species, and even to other native species. So so far we have seen a lot of invasive species in this zone. So now it's a high time for us to think about these invasive species, and what are the protocols we need to follow to control these invasive species so that it doesn't further spread to other native forests in our state, and so that our native biodiversity will thrive, and there will be no threat from this kind of invasive species. So we need to adopt some protocol to control and suppress these invasive species, and let's make our environment and our ecosystem very much healthier for our native species. Here you can see the overview of the germination of some of the invasive species, and some we have native species such as macaranga, wild erythrina, and leucaena. These are totally non-native to Sikkim Himalaya, and now these saplings have come up in these affected areas. So we need to prioritize our native species, and we should focus only on our native species, and we should adopt some protocol to control these invasive species so that it will not threaten our biodiversity, and we can protect our biodiversity from such kind of invasive species. And this is the area where landslide has occurred, and this area, the landslide had occurred several times in the past as well. So this is the vegetation above the road. Here you can see some bamboo species and the sapling of Leucaena leucocephala. And one good characteristics of bamboo is this is also one of the good soil stabilizer. So wherever the conditions such as landslide had occurred, in those kind of area we can take up bamboo plantation, because it is a good soil engineer and it helps in stabilization of the soil, and it protects the soil from soil erosion. So we should concentrate on our native bamboo species to protect our land, to protect our soil from soil erosion. Here you can see how Mycenia micrantha is colonizing this area. So see how gregariously the Mycenia micrantha is slowly occupying our native vegetation. So we need to think about this situation, and we should concentrate in controlling and adopting some protocol to control this invasive species. Here you can see another species. Its name is Crassicephalum species, and it belongs to the family Asteraceae. And this is also as one of the invasive species in the disturbed area, and it is known as common fireweed. So the seed of these species are usually carried away by, or it's actively dispersed by wind, because its seed characteristics is of a feather type like this, so it's easily dispersed by wind. Here you can see the habitat of Boehmeria virgata, and it belongs to the family of Urticaceae, and its common name is common nettle or false nettle. This is one of the native species of eastern Himalaya, and it is also found in Sikkim Himalayan as well. So far we have come only one native species. Rest so far we have seen only the invasive species. So here you can see the habitat of Boehmeria virgata, which belongs to the family Urticaceae. So thank you guys for watching my video and supporting me, and what you want to see in the coming days, or what kind of content you want to see in my channel about the nature, you can comment me in the comment box, and I will try to bring up those videos in my future days. And please do support me by subscribing my channel, because this motivates me and encourages me to come up with more beautiful videos in near future. And I hope so that you will like this video definitely, and please do share your comments about my videos so that it further motivates me. And please don't forget to subscribe and like my videos.